Hi, everyone. It is my huge pleasure to welcome you to your slash our online English 111 class. I'm Jamie Edlin. I am your instructor, but not going to be your instructor for long because of this. So that's a baby boy who's doing mid-September. So I'm 37 weeks today, Wednesday. Really, he could make an appearance any day now, but I will be here with you, working with you and for you for as long as I'm still pregnant to answer your questions, make you feel comfortable in getting started with the class, and grade your work. Whenever I do go into labor, the class will be passed off to another very trusty professor. Maybe you've already corresponded with him or her, but his or her name should be listed already on the course as your other instructor. When I go into labor from that point on, that other person will be your only instructor for the rest of the class. And from there, any questions or concerns should be addressed to that instructor. You're also free to get in touch with Anthony Sams, SAMS. He is the chair of the English department here on the Sellersburg campus, which is the home campus for this online 111 course. Professor Sam's information is found toward the top of your syllabus if you click on the syllabus link in Canvas. Okay, now that we have that bit of news out of the way that hopefully doesn't make you too nervous, it shouldn't. We're all qualified around here. I will tell you a little bit about the course itself to help you determine actually if you should stay in it, and if learning English online is right for you. You actually have until September 1st to decide on that if you want a full refund on the course, but I will get to that in a few moments. Moving forward, I have a few words for you guys about the class that I think will help with your understanding of how the course works. First off, it is, like any online class, 100% self-driven. There are deadlines, but of course, there will be no one standing in front of you telling you what to do and when. It's good to openly acknowledge that and let it sink in before moving forward with the course. If you're not a highly self-motivated person, if you're being honest with yourself, you might consider dropping the class and enrolling in a face-to-face class in the spring. But if you're cool with making your own schedule and keeping up with the deadlines, this class might very well work out for you. Deep breath. As far as workload in the class goes, you can expect just about every week to be working on all of the following types of assignments. We have class reading from the textbook, very important, even though you don't submit anything for it. A post or replies to posts on the discussion board, a draft of a writing assignment, which is called a writing project. It's an essay. Or providing commentary on someone else's draft of their writing project, and occasionally completing a quiz or test. Every week, one of those things or a combination of those things is happening. If you haven't yet, I recommend navigating through the course to see how it works. Generally speaking, the class is organized by what are called modules. MODULES. These are found on the home page of our course. Each module represents a week in the class. So Module 1 equals week 1. Module 5 equals week 5. Module 7, week 7, etc. Assignments will generally be due at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday each week. So think Cinderella. So you have until this Sunday, for example, just before midnight to complete Module 1. You'll have until next Sunday, just before midnight, to complete Module 2, etc., 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 going forward. As a bit of advice, I would start off on Monday each week reading through the whole module to figure out what to do for each week. What reading is due, what activities are due, what assignments are due. Make yourself a checklist of these things and decide at the start of the week what you're going to work on and when, what's going to take the most time, and try to think about how to divide your time up. How long is each activity going to take, more or less? Although it's important to complete all assignments, you should know that the major, highest stakes assignments are the writing projects. For those, you will have a rough draft due every 3 weeks and a final draft due just a couple weeks after that, after peer reviews. In between those drafts, you do peer reviews on each other's work. It is important to get the most out of peer review sessions, to be honest and thorough when you're looking at each other's work. When you're drafting your own writing projects, it's also important to pay really close attention to what the assignment is actually asking you for, and to get help from your instructor if you're confused about what is expected of you, if you're confused about what an assignment is asking for. We like when you email and ask us questions to make sure we're clear on what it is the assignment is asking of you. We'd rather you email and ask than read an assignment that does something totally other than what was asked of you. That makes sense. As a side note, the instructors for this course, myself included, we actually haven't created any of the material for the course. Only the grades and comments and announcements come from us. So know that neither I nor your next instructor can really change anything within the course. If anything is unclear or unhelpful to you, though, you can let the instructor at the time know, and we'll be able to help clarify whatever it is that you don't understand as best we can. Okay. Lastly, I have some advice for you to help you determine whether you should stick with the course now that I've gone over what the course is about. I include this part of the video not to discourage you, but because online English 111 does tend to be a notoriously work-heavy course, even more so than a face-to-face English 111. And you can really only be successful in this course under certain circumstances. So with everything I'm about to say, more than anything, I want to stress the importance of setting yourself up for success here. This is a tough class in which it helps enormously to have some prior skills and knowledge in essay writing and in critical reading. That's deep, thoughtful reading of stuff that feels kind of above your head, but you work with it anyway. If you don't have some knowledge base of this stuff, of academic English, or you haven't done well in English classes in the past, I will be really frank with you when I tell you that you may not do very well here. I don't mean to say that you're not smart or you won't pass, or that you will never do well in an English 111 here. But I will say that if you aren't already okay at writing, online learning may not be the best platform for you when it comes to English. You may not thrive in an online English class. This is something to consider when deciding whether to stay with the course. And by the way, if you decide this, like I mentioned earlier, if you decide this before December 1st, and you decide to drop the class through my IV or with the help of an advisor, let's say, you will receive a full refund for the course. So it's August 23rd today. You have until September 1st to decide if this is going to work for you. You can drop the class for a full refund before then, and it'll be like you never took the course. So obviously, September 1st is really the time to decide whether you're going to do great in here. After that, if you withdraw from the course, you won't receive a refund, but you will have until November 11th to withdraw. You get a W on your college report card, your transcript. So the last day to withdraw from this or any course is November 11th. What you don't want to do is just stop doing the work and we never hear from you again. Because if you do that, then you get something called an FW, which hurts your completion rate for school, and it can hurt your chances of getting financial aid again, and it looks fugly on your transcript. You don't want it. So if you do decide that the class isn't right for you and you didn't make it out by the September 1st deadline, make it out by the November 11th deadline if you're failing the class at that point. Okay. If you decide to remain with the class, know that the class asks a lot of you, but I think that the most successful students are the ones who put their heads down and push through it. When it comes to doing the work, as I have already mentioned, it's best to set up a schedule each week. Choose days when you know you're going to have some time to work for a little while. Print off your test run assignment. Try to stick with that schedule. and keep those appointments with yourself, trying your best never to break them. Time and effort go a long way in this class. You should know that I and your instructor will be here to help you, and that we will be personally interested in your doing well as well. If you have questions, though, you cannot be afraid to ask them. If you want to know how you could have done better on something, you have to be willing to step up and ask. Writing is this really private act where so much of the struggle of it actually happens under the surface in private. So you have to go public with it when you struggle. And there's no shame at all in doing so. You should know also that it's not up to your instructors whether you do your work or when you do it, or even, it's not up to us whether you do well on it. Your online instructors are here as your guides, as evaluators of your work. But so much of what happens to you and your grades and your learning experience in this course actually depends on what you are willing to put into it and how carefully you take peer and instructor comments into consideration. This is true for online and face-to-face courses. You can't blame others for the work you don't do, and your instructors can't tell you how to improve if you don't show them your work. These are all good things to keep in mind as you work through the course and as deadlines roll around. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to cover here in this first week. I may or may not get the opportunity to send another video. Your instructors, your future instructors may or may not do videos for online courses. They may depend more on emails and whatnot for correspondence and announcements. This is a lot of stuff to take in, I know. But so whether you get future videos or not, know that we're here for you. If you followed me up to this point in this video, which is about 12 minutes long at this point, thank you. I know first week of classes, your attention is devoted to a lot of other things, but watching this video I think is important to get some footing in the class. For now, I'm here. I love what I do. I love teaching online, in person. I love writing. I love working with writing students, whether they're good at writing or not, doesn't matter. I still like teaching writing. So I'm hugely looking forward to being with you guys, even though it's only for a little while. And again, just so you know, I'm passing you off to another person, but that person you can trust just as much as you trust me to work hard for you if you work hard for them. And I wouldn't pass you guys off to another person for anything less than, adding a new member to my family. So please rest easy about your next instructor. Again, they'll be totally competent and ready and willing to work with you to help you make the most of this class, to do as well as possible. Until we meet again, maybe never, I don't know, but best of luck. Best of luck with this week's work. Last thing, it's very, very important that you submit this first assignment by the due date, which is this Sunday at midnight, or just before midnight, so that you don't get dropped from the course. So make sure you do that. August 27th, 11:59 p.m. Submit at least one assignment, and you won't get dropped from it. Okay? Take care, you guys. Best of luck to you all, and best of luck in the semester in general.